Alright guys, my reproduction shifter and console mounting brackets came in today from G-Body Parts. A guy on G-Body Forum actually gave me some good pictures and some measurements, and so I got everything all mounted up. Got the boot on the shifter cable. I mean, it's all pretty much mounted, except I did not weld the brackets to the floor yet. I've got them in there with some little 1/4-inch self drillers. I'm gonna wait and make sure. I'm gonna get the trans in and make sure I don't have to move anything. And I mean, it's to the T on his measurements, so it should be good. I'm just, once you weld it, you're pretty much, it'd be a bitch to get them back loose. The other thing I did was I got my firewall pad in, my gas pedal assembly and brake pedal assembly. I got my master and cylinder booster on, the forward brake lines, and that's a brake pedal. I had my wife come out and help me do the brake bleeding procedure on it. So all this is pretty much done. You can see the rest of the shifter cable stuff is here. It's got the bracket on it for the 204R and the shift lever deal and everything. So I pretty much just need to bolt it up. I did, this has an SS Monte Carlo chassis, so the fuel line originally came out on this side, but I ended up changing it out to Buick V6 because I was planning on putting a turbo V6 in here. I still plan on putting a turbo V6 in here later when I do a frame-off restoration on this. So I did just a temporary thing here. I just bent up a piece of aluminum fuel line here, and I flared the ends a little bit. You can kind of see the flare through the rubber there, but anyway, I drilled a couple of holes and I put some stock style bolts like the lines actually have. Anyway, it's just temporary, but it'll work pretty nice. Everything's out of the way. I'm hoping this is out of the way of the power steering. If not, I'll have to resituate. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Got that all done. So when I was underneath the back of the car bleeding the brakes, I noticed my rear sway bar wasn't tight, so I got in there with my impact gun and a wrench, and I got those tight now. I've been walking on this floor, and it's pretty much dry. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish seam sealing the whole floor area and all these rust holes. I did go ahead and seam seal the forward part earlier before I got the pad on, because it covers it. It would have been messy trying to do it with a pad on there. I've got a new shift handle here. The interior color of this car will eventually be tan, that tan color. So that's why I went ahead and bought a tan one. Like I said, it's going to be a multitude of colors because I got blue door panels and red seats and shell gray console. But I'm just, as long as it's all together with good parts, that's a good starting point, It's pretty cool. I got the console last summer from either Turbo Buick or Turbo Buicks for them. I can't remember which one. Anyway, it came in. It didn't have a shifter or anything, but I actually had a shifter in my shed, and it had the little slider thing here, that goes on there. It's pretty scuffed up looking, but I've got a pretty nice one over there in my parts box I just seen a while ago. But anyway, it didn't have the bulb plug in. It was missing. This one is actually out of, I believe, a VDO gauge. I've got a box full of wiring and old gauges and crap, and it actually fits this thing like it was made for it and locks in. So that's pretty cool. So it'll illuminate, to show what gear you got. But this plate was actually missing, and as I was digging through parts, I actually found that. And I know that was from a Cutlass console that I had. It was all broken to pieces, but I ended up taking a few parts out of it, and that may be what that other one of those is from too. But anyway, it's good being a G-Body parts hoarder, like I am, because I always have stuff here. I have tons of hardware, tons of bolts and screws, so I've got all the correct stuff everywhere. I could probably go ahead and weld these down. I just got them self-drilled in, I'm going to wait until the motor and trans is sitting in the car and I hooked up the cable, because I want to make sure it's not binding or anything. If it's good to go, I'll unbolt the shifter and I'll weld these suckers up and then pull the screws and weld those holes up. But anyway, brake pedal assembly and the gas pedal, I took all that stuff apart and sanded and painted those. I didn't paint the upper pieces, I just did the rods basically, because what you see. I did have a new brake pedal pad I put on, and also put these little stainless trim rings on. These are from 78 to 80 Grand Prix. It's pretty cool. Your gas pedal all the way up to 88 will have a slots, little square slots in it, and that's what those are for. And your brake pedal, even the new ones, have it just pokes through. You'll see it on the back where it has a spot for those. So that's pretty cool. Now the emergency brake pedal pad is not the same as your standard, 81 and up looking G-body. This pad is different. This is from the Grand Prix, and it is hard as a rock. I'll have to heat it up with a heat gun to get it on my emergency brake. But there's the trim ring for it. It actually has a line down the center, so it's definitely different. But so if you go to get them, make sure you get the emergency brake pedal pad, because the emergency brake one won't work. Or just don't even use the emergency brake one. This is what, like your standard G-body looks like. And if I can do this one-handed, wow. That's the difference. Side to side or up and down. So anyway, I guess you don't have to have the emergency brake one, but I actually have an extra gas and brake one here. But I'll save them because I like to hoard the hell out of parts. Also got these deals that are going on this car. Yeah, there's a speedo cable. I think I'll go ahead and put it in right now. Anyway, guys, I'm going to put in a speedometer cable, and I'm going to go ahead and go in and eat lunch, or dinner. It says it's dinner time.